the best stocks to invest in 2024 and how can they help you to build wealth this year? Let's go ahead and break it down. Now, I have my tablet and my notes here, and I went and found 7 stocks that I think are extremely good and should help weather what we are going to walk into, what we expect to walk into for 2024. Now, remember, it's early. There are a lot of things that can happen this year, but based on what we know, these are my picks. As always, you know you want to do your own research to continue to see whether or not these fit for your portfolio. And I do try to pick companies that are a little bit off the beaten path. Anybody can say Apple, anybody can say Microsoft, and those are good stocks. I own those, right? But what else can I add to my portfolio to get a bit extra? So the first thing here is Lamb Research Corporation, LRCX. They have had a great run, I would say probably 2 of the last 3 to 4 years, and they're up 21% at the time we're doing this video. Up 21% in the last 6 months, up 84% over the last year. They are in the semiconductor space. Now, the interesting thing here is Nvidia, and for good reason, has soaked up a lot of the semiconductor oxygen. They're not the only company that benefits from semiconductors. And remember, almost everything that is electronic, if you plug it in, it's going to have a semiconductor from somebody, right? And one of these companies could be one of those beneficiaries. They are in my portfolio currently, and again, they've done quite well, have a good, solid track record. If you don't already have a semiconductor stock, this could be one that you might want to add to your portfolio. Next here is one that was actually suggested by one of our members, and by the way, our members have already had this list for like 3 or 4 days now. Okay, so you want to make sure you're inside our members only if you are not already. Just let you know. All right, next here is Marriott. Again, they suggested this one to me and said, hey, take a look at Marriott. What do you think about it? And I started taking a look. I was like, oh, I like this. I like it so much. I'm going to put a little bit of my money into it as well inside my IRA. Okay, for those that don't know, there's an individual retirement account. That's the serious money. This is not play money. Okay, I got my serious money in Marriott because Marriott is not only up 22% in the last 6 months. It's also up 50% over last year. Here is what I think is the cool and special thing about Marriott and most companies in this industry. Last year we didn't have a recession. I've done a whole video about why we didn't have a recession in 2023. A part of that is the fact that unemployment was low. When unemployment is low, that means somebody is hiring. Travel and leisure was the biggest employer last year. They were the people who were hiring, or the industry rather, that was hiring the most because they've had the most extended recovery, if you will, post-COVID. So they're still hiring quite strong. Marriott is obviously a good beneficiary from that. I think that should continue at least through the first half of 2024. Next here is a company that I've been talking about for a long time now. And I feel like every year Iron Mountain, IRM, finds its way on a list of mine every year. I don't know how they do it. But IRM is up 23% in the last 6 months, up 39% over last year. If you are someone who enjoys dividends, then you should know that this company does pay a 3.63% dividend. They're in the storage management space. They do a lot of different things. If you ask me, I know them most for the company that shreds papers in offices. That's just where I saw their logo first and learned most about the company from that experience, which is not much of an experience, but you guys get the point here. But they're solid. They've been around. They're one of the preeminent players in that space. And obviously, they're going to continue to be around. So there's one that if you're looking for something that is really, not tech, but also diversified and has a good track record, then this is one you may want to consider. I said in an earlier video that you should have a Costco, right? Meaning that you should have a company that it should do well in any type of weather and any type of expectation. In most cases, Iron Mountain might fit. They might fit in a situation like that, regardless of what goes on. It seems like Iron Mountain usually has a good, solid path forward. So take a look at that one. All right. Before we go on to the next ones, remember, there are resources for you, 2 resources really, that you should check out if you are looking to be a good investor or a better investor in 2024. Number 1, you've got our members only. It's only $10 a month, exclusive deep dives of companies that you guys request, lists like this that you get early, and you get access to me when you have questions or you need a breakdown. Someone asked for a breakdown for PACR, P-A-C-R, or P-C-A-R. Is the stock symbol there? We're doing that exclusively for that person because they asked, inside members only. But also, I have free resources too. If you didn't know, there is a free PDF guide on how you can start investing in 20 minutes. It is free. It is in the description box below. Okay? All right, let's get back to our list. Next here, I have Arista Networks. They are in the cloud computing and storage space. They're up 45% in the last 6 months and up 91% in the last year. I do own this company. It has done me quite well. Now, I'm relatively new to this stock, so I haven't had it for years and years, but I do hope to own it for years and years if this level of performance does continue. So again, you know how much I believe in it by whether or not I put money into it, and many of these companies I have. Arista Networks is number 4 on our list. Next here is FICO, F-I-C-O, Fair Isaac Corporation. They are the ones who create the credit scores, among other things. Now, this company is up 44% in the last 6 months and up 91% in the last year. It was one of my best stocks last year. I think I'm up right around 40 to 45%, depending on what day I look at my account. And it is one that I looked at and said, oh, great, we're going to continue holding this company and see where we end up in June of 2024. So I'm very glad that I picked it up when I did, but it is still going quite strong. You definitely want to take a look at it, see if it fits with your portfolio, and decide whether or not it is a good fit for you. Next here is Expedia. Now this one is interesting, I said, because you can go either way. You can flip a coin between Expedia and Booking. Now, if you have been a subscriber of this channel, if you have not, go ahead and do that right now. It is free. But if you're a subscriber of this channel, then you know that I talked about Booking.com, which is a competitor of Expedia, and their performance almost mirrors each other. Expedia is up 38% in the last 6 months, up 71% in the last year. I went with Booking, but again, they're super similar. Notice here that Marriott, Expedia, and Booking are somewhat around the travel and leisure space. Now, I would say travel and leisure is definitely Marriott. The reason why I say Booking and Expedia aren't is because they don't own hotels. They don't own an airline, but they do help people acquire those things and get those things for those trips. So you can flip a coin there, but Expedia right now edges out Booking by just a hair. So definitely make sure that you take a look at that and see if that fits for your watch list. Next here is Salesforce, CRM. Now, when it comes to a company like Salesforce, it has a very interesting past. When I say past, I'm really talking about like the last 4 to 5 years. And right now it's up 29% in the last 6 months and up 94% over the last year. The reason why I say it has an interesting past is because when we think tech companies, when most people think of tech companies, you think of Microsoft, you might throw in Meta, you might throw in Nvidia, and then you've got the big ones. I think I said Amazon already, Apple, Microsoft, Google, right? Probably said Microsoft twice. Those are usually ones. You think about those, 4 to 5, and then it just kind of stops. We don't always think about Adobe, which was doing quite well last time I checked, which was about a week ago. And we don't always think about Salesforce, especially because Salesforce kind of vanished in 2021 after they acquired Slack. Well, they've been on their way back, and Salesforce is a very preeminent player. They also, if I remember correctly, have some insider buyers, which means that people on the board have been buying the stock in the last 12 months or so. There's only one reason why people who work there would buy a stock, because they think it is going up, and it has. And perhaps, based on what we expect for 2024, that could continue. So it's definitely one that you should keep an eyebrow on. Now, I say keep an eyebrow on, you should probably raise an eyebrow. Putting your eyebrow on the stock is kind of weird, but you guys get the point. You definitely want to raise an eyebrow for a company like this, and anytime that you suspect or see people buying the company who work there, people who are board members, CEOs, things of that nature. So that is one you definitely want to check out. However, what else should you do for this year? How should you protect your money for 2024? It's a major question that you should consider right after watching this video. And how do you do that? You can check out this video right here.